See, when you do the countdown like that, it makes me smile, and then when everything goes easy. Hi, welcome to Ed's Eats. I'm Ed McFarland, the chef owner of Ed's Lobster Bar, and today we're going to make my homemade short rib chili with black beans. The black beans have been soaking overnight, which is very important, in a lot of cold water. And the first thing we're going to do, we're going to get our beans cooking. Very simply, the beans get onion, carrot, celery, a lot of water and a lot of salt. So let's head over to the stove and get those cooking. We have our beans on the stove cooking. They will take about an hour to an hour and a half, and we're going to use all the beans and the bean liquid in our chili. So the rest of our ingredients are all laid out here. We have short rib, onion, pepper, garlic, and we have our spice mix. And you'll see I have it laid out in 3 separate bowls because it goes into the recipe at 3 separate times. So the first thing is we have to cut our onion into a dice. So we do that very easily by cutting the onion in half, making slices across, and you want to make sure you have a sharp knife for this, makes it a lot easier. We're going to cut into a nice dice on the onion. This is pretty simple. We're going to cut our pepper. And so 2 things are going to happen here on the pepper is we're going to make sure that we remove the seed, and we're going to make sure that we remove the pith, and we're going to make sure we use the whole pepper. We don't want to waste any of the pepper, so I'm going to set that aside. And very easily on the pith, we're going to take our knife, lay the pepper flat, and just cut that out. This could be used as in stocks or in salads, so we're going to leave that on the side as well. We don't want to waste anything, but we certainly don't want that in our chili. So once again, very easily, we just want to cut our pepper into strips so we can do a nice dice. You want everything to be similar size so it's at a similar cooking time. So you'll notice that I left the peppers and the onions separate, and that's because they're going to go in the pot completely separately. The onions are going to cook first, and then the peppers are going to go in after. And one of the procedures is I like to sweat them both completely so they release all of their liquid into the chili as opposed to drying out, so we're going to cook it covered through all of the stages. So we have to cut our short rib, and what I do is I use short rib plate meat, so it's boneless short rib, readily available in most markets. If you don't have short rib, you can substitute this for chuck or for brisket meat. And one of the things I do is I cut it into a dice, and not too small, not too big. I like to actually have chunks of meat in my chili as opposed to using ground beef where it just all melts together. This way you actually see the chunks of meat when the chili's finished. This is 5 pounds of short rib plate meat. And then lastly, I just like to slice just a little bit of garlic up in my chili, and that will actually go in with the onions. I just have 4 cloves of garlic here for the amount that I have. So let me get all of the ingredients here so everybody sees everything that we have going into the chili. We have our spice mix laid out for the 3 different stages of the cooking. So we have our onions and garlic, peppers, our meat, the spice mix. On the stove, we have our beans cooking, and we'll also add a little bit of pureed canned tomato into the chili. Gives it a little color and some more flavor. Let's go to the kitchen. So the first procedure with cooking the chili is we're going to sear our meat off. Once the meat's seared off, we're going to drain the oil out. We're going to add our onion and garlic in, some of the seasoning, cover the pot and let all the liquid sweat out. Once the onions sweat all of its liquid out and it's translucent, we're going to do the same thing with our red pepper. We'll add the spice mix accordingly. Once that's released all of its liquid, We're gonna cover it. We're gonna add our tomato, add our bean liquid, cover it, let the meat cook until it's almost done, probably an hour to an hour and a half. Once that's all finished, we'll add our beans, our puree of carrot, onion, and celery that we cooked the beans with, bring it back up to a boil once more, and then it's ready to eat. So I'm really excited to dig into this chili. The aroma, the cumin, the chili powder, it's just nostalgic for me. I really enjoy eating this. I make big batches, I save it. I got this beautiful piece of garlic bread, and what's better than having a beer with my chili? Got perfect Pilsner with my chili today. And let's see what we got going on here. Look at this. Oh, you know what? I gotta dip my bread in. This is perfect. This is perfect any time of the year. I'm done talking. I just want to eat.